everyone. Today Pete, Kobe, Chris and I are going to review to what extent the Western Australian EIA practice facilitates learning to improve decision making. The test we'll use is assessing how well public participation is incorporated, as this increases the opportunity for learning.
Hey Kobe, did you know individual learning influences systems learning outcomes, providing ideal conditions for learning that are linked to effective participation of stakeholders along the EIA process?
Well, it says here that learning can be a social process where a range of stakeholders can share a universal platform, creating a shared vision and objectives.
A fella, eh?
2010.
Well, the International Association for Impact Assessment considers some key objectives of public participation to be the contribution for mutual learning of stakeholders and to inform and educate stakeholders, including the public, opponents, decision makers and regulators.
Hey Hayley, did you know that it says here within the Environmental Protection Act of 1986, our test of best practice is not specifically addressed. The EPA may receive representations on environmental matters as described under the functions of authority. However, there are no implications that facilitate learning. However, it also says here that within the Environmental Impact Assessment Procedures Manual, during the referral process, public environmental review provides more flexibility for proponents that may not have a full understanding of the environmental effects of their proposal. This passes the test.
That's interesting because here it says within the assessment of the EIA Procedures Manual Proposal, Stage 3 Assessment of Proposal, there are opportunities for the public to comment on the environmental scoping document as well as the environmental review document, helping to achieve better project outcomes. However, there is no allowance in Stage 4 or 5 of the administrative procedures to facilitate learning.
That's interesting because I heard that the EPA sets out non-legislative aims for itself, proponents, and what is able to be achieved through public participation. In its statement of environmental principles, factors, objectives, and aims of EIA.
Yeah, because those aims relating to our tests see the EPA promote adaptive environmental management, positive environmental outcomes, and continuous improvement through learning and knowledge gained through the EIA process and project implementation.
That's because they expect the proponent to ensure that members of the wider public are provided with sufficient information relevant to the EIA proposal to make informed comments before completion of the EPA's assessment report.
Yeah, so with the public encouraged to participate in strategic policy and planning as appropriate, since engagement at these earlier stages may influence the development and evaluation of future proposals, as well as encouraging public participation in consultation by offering advice, identifying omitted relevant data and information, providing local knowledge, and proposing alternatives.
So our test implies that public participation needs to occur throughout the whole legislative process, as well as the EIA process to facilitate learning for policymakers, proponents, and the publics themselves. Therefore, we conclude that the EIA within Western Australia context fails our test.